Now, here he is, the one, the only...
Oh, brother, what I know about him. Oh, that's me. Hi, audience. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples. And if any of them say the secret word, this duck we have up yonder will fly down and pay him $100. The word tonight is war. Okay, duck. Au revoir. He's a French duck. Mr. Fenneman, begin, huh?
Groucho, we have a cab driver for you. He's Mr. Maury Simon. His partner is a special guest, one of the great track and field coaches of all time, Mr. Dean Cromwell. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Well. Welcome. For the DeSoto Plymouth dealers, say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you find around the house. Dean Cromwell, eh? Anybody who reads the sport pages know who you are, Mr. Cromwell. You're a fine-looking fellow, Dean. How old are you?
Well, my friends have been telling me for the past 20 years that I am 55.
Well, you don't look any older. Do you have any rules for keeping in such good condition?
Yes, sir. Groucho, do not have any minor vices. Don't smoke, nor drink, nor use swear words. No profanity, Groucho, no profanity.
Well, those are admirable qualities, Dean. I don't use profanity either, unless, of course, I have to give up smoking. Now, let's see. Who are you again?
I'm Maury Simon, Mr. Marx.
Maury Simon?
That's it.
I see. Where are you from, Maury?
I was born behind a dairy that my dad owned in Cleveland, Ohio.
Are you a baseball fan, Maury?
Oh, I'm more than just a baseball fan. I used to work at the Cleveland Indian ballpark. I used to sell peanuts and popcorn and ice cream. Would you like to hear how I yelled? I used to vend.
Well, I'm not crazy about it, but I mean, if it's an overwhelming desire you have, why, tear loose.
Here's the way I used to go.
Peanuts, popcorn, crackjack, fries, and each and every pack.
Then I used to have another one.
No wonder they lost the World Series.
There's another one I used to have. I used to sell ice cream. Would you like to hear that? I had to go.
Sure.
Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Bicker Telling's honey-coated ice cream here. Cooling and refreshing. Enjoy the game of ice cream.
Was this written by Robert Browning? Do people holler like that around where you work, Dean?
No,
Peanuts?
they're very, very quiet because my sport is individual sport.
I see. Well, let's get back. You've been track coach at USC for 30 years, haven't you?
40 years, Groucho.
Oh, well, my watch has stopped. Does the track coach give the boys a pep talk like they do in football in order to steam them up to win?
I always did, Groucho. Yes, I told each one of those boys that he was a champion. I called him champ. Told him that he was going to be better tomorrow than he is today, that next year he's going to be better than this year. Continually keep that word champion in front of him.
Well, did you tell them this collectively?
Individually. And in the meantime, you keep them relaxed.
Well, how do you do that? Do you hit them with a baseball bat or something?
Talk to them gently. Oftentimes you can tell them a short story.
Mm-hmm. Funny stories?
You know, it better be funny if you're going to keep them relaxed.
Mm-hmm. Could you tell us one of these funny stories?
Uh-oh.
If the audience goes to sleep, we'll let Maury sell some more peanuts.
Well, two old gentlemen in bar sitting at a table in New York City. One gentleman says, I am 85 years old, and I've never used glasses. The other one said, why? And he says, I drink my liquor from a bottle.
Let's have the peanut thing once more.
Yeah.
Huh? He not only sells them, he steams them.
And the other old gentleman says...
Oh, this is over.
The other old gentleman says...
Oh, I'm sorry, Dean. I thought that was all there was to it.
Oh, this is... we're still going with the second one.
Oh, I see.
The other one says, I'm 86 and I have you beaten. I am 86 years old and I've never done a day's work in my life. But they got even with him. He died shortly after. They cremated him, put his ashes in an hourglass, and he's been working ever since.
told this joke right before a track meet? Well, that joke would make anyone run fast. Yeah. Including the person who told it. Dean, who are some of the famous... I like that joke.
Thank you, Groucho.
It's not funny, but it's sincere. Well, Dean, who are some of the famous athletes you've helped to develop over the years?
Three of the greatest sprinters the world has ever seen, Groucho. Charles W. Paddock, the first of the fastest humans, and then Frank Wyckoff, the next of the fastest humans that defeated every sprinter in the world, and then lastly, Melvin Patton, who now holds the world's record in the 100 yards and the 220 yards. And then, of course, the heavenly twins, Earl Meadows and Bill Sefton, that broke the world's record in the pole vault on an afternoon about 2 minutes apart.
Well, you've got quite a record. You were the coach of the United States Olympic team, weren't you, a few years
back? Yes, sir. I was in London in 1948 and assistant coach in Amsterdam in 28, Los Angeles 32, Berlin in 36.
Well, that's quite a record, huh? Now, I'd like to continue this battle, but the time has come for both of you to win some money here. I know that Dean is interested in that. How about you, Maury? You like money?
Oh, I love it.
Well, we're going to start you off with $100. You have to try to add to that by answering 4 questions. If you miss a question, you lose half of your bankroll. You ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, you select the general information quiz. And remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what do you want to start with? 10, 20, 50, 80, 100?
$50?
That's fine.
Okay.
$50. One answer between you. What famous American do you associate with Poor Richard's Almanac? Talk it over.
Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, Ben Franklin is right.
You now have $150.
Okay, now what are you going to go for?
Yes, 60? Okay.
60? By what means of transportation did the crew of the Kon-Tiki arrive at their destination?
It had a raft. It was a raft.
George Raft is right.
You now have $210.
Hey, you're getting a free ride here, Dean, huh?
I'll try 70 or whatever you say. Whatever you think. Is that all right? Okay.
70? What instrument is used to determine the altitude of an airplane?
Altimeter?
That's close.
You now have $280.
Well, you're climbing. Is your last chance to beat the other couples. What are you going to go for?
Safe and make it 40.
$40.
40.
How many fiddlers did Old King Cole have?
Old King Cole was Mary told it. Mary also told it to you. Fiddlers 3. Well, Fiddlers 3.
You are absolutely right. 3 fiddlers is right.
And you wind up with $320.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Thank you, Dean. George, let's take a break for a minute. I want to see that beautiful car again, and you know the car I mean.
I certainly do. So let's go out to the Chelsea Proving Grounds and see the magnificent new 1955 DeSoto. Well, here we are, and there's the car. The key word this year, Groucho, is style. Sleek, taut, modern style. This new DeSoto is mighty fast-looking, eager and new and different. Designers talk about its taut, surging feel and look of power. But to you and me, it just looks like it wants to get out and travel. This is the smartest DeSoto we have ever built. Longer, lower, and comfortably wider. Added inches give the car a long, slim, modern style that's new and different on the American scene. Take a look at the new, smooth slope of the low hood. The big, graceful new grille. Headlights, bumpers. Perfect examples of modern, smart style. Huge glass areas, front and rear. Of course, this year again, DeSoto offers you your choice of all full power assist features. And hang on. This year, for the first time, DeSoto offers you 2 great V8 models. The mighty Fire Dome V8, now raised to a full 185 horsepower and at a completely new low price. And the super-powered Fireflight V8, 200 horsepower worth of flashing automobile. Fire Dome or Fireflight, DeSoto's really got it this year. See the 1955 DeSoto tomorrow at your DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Mrs. Norma Ireland and Mr. Thomas Craddock have some things to discuss with you, Groucho, right now. And here they are. Folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Norma Ireland and Tom Craddock. Mrs. Ireland, where are you from?
Wadsworth, Ohio.
Wadsworth? I thought you'd be from Ireland, huh? Well, could you give us some idea of your age?
Well, 40-ish.
40-ish? Well, that's a nice age. It's a nice age. You're young enough to have a future and old enough to have a past. What sort of work does your husband do? I assume you're married.
Yes, he is an industrial engineer for California Institute of Technology, a Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California.
Well, that's a very imposing list of titles. And let's see now, you're Thomas Craddock.
Yes.
That's you, huh?
Thomas Craddock.
Where were you born, Tom?
Mystic, Georgia.
Mystic? Why did they name a town Mystic?
Sir, it's a mystery to me. I don't know.
Well, where is Mystic exactly?
Oh, it's near Tifton.
Well, that clears that up, all right. Now, where's Tifton? Near Mystic?
Oh, it's about 30 miles from Valdosta.
Are we getting near anything yet?
Well, you're about 60 miles from Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, huh?
Yes.
Well, now you're talking. Jacksonville, Florida, huh?
Yes.
Are you married, Tom?
Yes, sir.
Is she a Mystic girl? Most girls are, you know.
No, sir, she's a Tifton.
A Tifton, huh?
Yes.
What kind of work have you been doing since you left Mystic?
Oh, I've been farming, a little bit of everything, and worked for Fred Rice Rug Service.
Oh, must be cleaning up, huh?
Yes, sir. It's
You have any other job besides the rugs?
Oh, I sell jewelry on the side.
Which side do you sell it on?
Well, it's pretty
On the outside?
Yes, sir. It's
Well, how is the jewelry business?
Well, it's pretty bad right now.
Why is that? It's close to Christmas. There ought to be a lot of...
Well, I've sold 3 watches and 1 ring.
Since when?
Oh, God, that's been a while. My wife bought the watch. And
What's this?
my wife bought one of the watches.
Your wife bought the watch?
And I bought the ring, but I still owe the man. I've been owing him for 2 months for the ring.
Tom, I think if you work real hard inside of 6 months, you could build your jewelry business into a shoestring. Now, Mrs. Ireland, are you a housewife?
Yes, I am.
Do you do anything special for relaxation? Any hobbies?
Well, I'm an amateur contestant.
You mean you've been on a lot of shows?
No, not shows. I enter other kinds of contests.
What kind? Huh?
Puzzle contests and limericks and statements and jingles and.
Have you ever won any of these contests?
Well, I've won over 100 prizes, I think, which isn't a large number at all.
Well, you must be pretty smart. How much money have you won? Approximately.
Between 3,000 and 4,000.
What are some of the prizes you've won? You probably have 300 electric toasters at home.
No, I'm not that good.
You have 200? Would you be interested in buying a watch here from me? Well, you're a nice young couple, and I wish both of you lots of luck. Norma, you ought to be a whiz at the quiz here. I'm a little scared of you.
Oh, no, don't give me such a disadvantage.
Well, remember, we start you off with $100, and if you miss a question, you lose half of your bankroll, no matter what it amounts to at the time. Are you ready?
In the race for the $1,000, the first couple won $320, and the secret word is wall.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. You select a dictionary quiz. Remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Talk it over, and what do you want to start with?
What do you want to start with? $100.
You're going to start with $100?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is a leotard? Leotard. Come on.
A slow person or individual?
No, it's a form-fitting garment worn by ballet dancers.
Well, you lost half your original 100. You now have $50.
Well, don't get discouraged. What are you going to go for now?
90.
90? Okay, what is a lexicon? Lexicon.
Dictionary? Dictionary?
Dictionary is right. Dictionary is right.
We now have $140.
Now what?
80?
What do you call the blanket or shawl worn over the shoulder by some of the people of Mexico? Time's up.
Mandela? Mandela?
Mental.
No, it's a serape.
Serape.
Well, you lost half the 140. You now have $70.
All right, here's your last chance to be the up couples. What are you going to go for?
70?
70. Many universities have campanile. Campanile. What is a campanile?
Is it a tower, clock tower?
Well, that's close enough. It's a bell tower or a steeple, but we give you...
And you wind up with $140.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. You took a tough category.
Groucho, we invited a married couple to come to our show tonight.
Always married couples.
And if Reverend and Mrs. Carl Doss will come in, I'm sure you'll discover some pretty unusual topics of conversation. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word. Say the secret word and take home an extra $100. It's a common word, something you see around the house. Reverend and Mrs. Carl Doss, eh? I don't think we've ever had a minister on the show before. Not really a coward, but I just may let you do all the talking here tonight. Where are you from, Reverend? Is that what I should call you, Reverend?
Call me Carl.
Carl, huh?
I was
Carl
born in
Reverend?
Long... No, just leave the Reverend off.
Okay.
I was born in Long Beach, grew up in Southern California.
Oh. And Mrs. Dodd, what is your first name?
Helen?
Helen. Well, that's good. Where's your church, Carl?
At the present time, I'm not serving a church. I'm lecturing and preaching on invitation in churches throughout Southern California.
Oh, you're sort of a guest conductor, huh?
Yeah.
How long have you been married, Helen?
17 years.
You have any children?
Yes, I do.
Boys or girls?
I've got some of both.
How old are these children?
Well, Richard and Dorothy and Donald are 12, and Teddy and Laura and Susan and Elaine are 9, and Diane and Rita are 8.
You had triplets and then you had quadruplets?
Well,
Reverend, I admit you've got some pretty important contacts, but this is pretty hard to believe. Is this true, Helen?
It wasn't as incredulous as it sounds because, well, like the triplets, they weren't really exactly triplets. Well, they're the same age, but one boy is married. Well, he looks like my husband, and another boy is part Indian. He was when he was born.
No.
And another boy's part Indian, and the other one of the three is Brazilian and Portuguese and English. And our baby is only 100% American. He's Blackfoot Indian, and then some are Japanese.
Well, it's pretty clear, the whole thing. But listen, before 50,000 pediatricians go out of their minds, you'd better explain this, Carl. What is it?
It's very simple. We adopted 12 children.
You've adopted 12 children, and they're all of different races and nationalities? And they're all of different races and nationalities?
Yes.
I'm speechless with admiration. I think you should get the handshake, really. Huh? You have to do taking care of them, eh? Well, do the racial differences present any problems, Helen?
Well, the children don't really realize... well, they know it theoretically they're different, but it doesn't make any difference. For instance, the two oldest boys always play cowboy and Indian, but the blonde, blue-eyed boy always plays the Indian, and the Indian always plays the cowboy. And when
they must have fun chasing each other, eh? Well, that's wonderful. I'm sure there must be a story behind these youngsters, Carl. Could you tell us how all this happened?
Well, when we were married, we wanted a normal family, as any couple does. And when our doctor told us we couldn't have children of our own, we thought naively, well, we'll adopt them. And then we discovered that for every normal, blue-eyed, blonde-haired youngster, there were a dozen or more couples waiting for that child, but that the mixed-race children were classified unadoptable because neither race wanted them. So we started taking mixed-race children.
Helen, I realize running your household must be a full-time job, but do you ever get a chance to relax? Or do you have any hobbies like gardening? Or...
I do gardening. Really, my main hobby now, outside of taking care of the children, is writing. I just finished writing a book about my family. It's called The Family Nobody Wanted. McCall's had a small part of it in their September and October issues. And
when is this book coming out?
It's came. I mean, it's come.
It's the past tense of come. Well, is it on sale now in the bookstore?
It's been on since September 22nd.
Well, all you people could do her a big favor by going out and buy one of these copies.
Yeah, make a good Christmas present.
Yeah, it makes a wonderful Christmas present, and it's a fine plea for tolerance.
Thank you.
And thank you. Gosh, we're polite around here. Reverend Doss, you have a wonderful family. Now, I want to ask you one question. With the experience you've had so far, would you do the same thing all over again?
We sure would, Groucho. It's been an enriching experience for us. We've discovered, for one thing, that all races are basically alike, that these differences that we call racial differences that divide men are cultural differences. They're something that's acquired after birth.
That's true.
And that all people are born alike.
That's true. All people are born alike except Republicans and Democrats. They're as far apart as the two poles. Well, I think you've done something for your country that is rarely equaled. You've had a small League of Nations all of your own. And it's too bad that more people don't do this. You know, we send a care package away for $10 or something to Korea or something. We think we've done a wonderful job. Now, someday in the far, far distant future, Reverend, and you too, Helen, when you're both face-to-face with St. Peter, you can certainly tell him that Groucho sent you. Well, it's time to win a lot of money, and I think everybody in our audience, all 50 million of them, they're all pulling for you, and that probably even includes the other contestants here tonight. All right, this is a dictionary quiz.
In the race for the $1,000, Dean Cromwell and his partner are still leading with $320.
Well, all right, what do you want to start with? $50, $60, $80, $100, $10, easy ones?
Let's live dangerously.
All right, what do you call the front or face of a building?
Elevation.
Front elevation.
No, it's called a facade. F-A-C-A-D-E.
You lost half your $100. You now have $50.
Oh, come on now. Enough of this nonsense. What are you going to go for now?
90.
90? What is the word for a remedy given to counteract the effects of a poison?
Antidote.
Antidote is right.
You now have $140.
All right, now what are you going to go for?
80.
80? What do you call the sheath in which the blade of a dagger is enclosed? Scabbard is right.
You now have $220.
70.
You've had 80, 90, and 100. Now you're going for 70? What do you call... 70? What do you call the strips of wood that make up the sides of a barrel?
Staves.
Staves is right.
And you wind up with $290.
I'm a little crooked tonight, but I couldn't help it. Thanks and good luck to the soda company. Well, you did pretty good.
That means that Mr. Dean Cromwell and Mr. Simon, with $320, in just 1 minute get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question. Come inside the most luxurious, stylish interiors in an automobile today. Inside the sparkling new 1955 DeSoto. Here's beauty and comfort at the height of fashion. DeSoto this year makes use of glamorous nylon, glistening metallic thread fibers, the softest shoemaker's leathers, weaves and patterns that spell style and luxury. Smooth, gleaming chrome sets off the interiors. Interiors, incidentally, available in over 24 color combinations. Here's the ultra-smart double cockpit effect of the brand new DeSoto instrument panel, in a class by itself for beauty. And set right on the instrument panel, the new flight control lever. Yes, inside or out, the new 1955 DeSoto will catch your eye with its up-to-the-second style and beauty. See it at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers now. DeSoto, styled for tomorrow. And here's the winning couple, Dean Cromwell and his...
Pardon me, George. Before you go ahead, we have something a little unusual here. During the commercial, we've been having a conference backstage about the quiz we just finished. We asked a question for which the correct answer is facade, F-A-C-A-D-E. Now, Mrs. Dorr said front elevation, and some of us feel that might be acceptable. So we think the best thing to do is to bring them back next week for a chance at an extra $1,000 question.
But Dean Cromwell and his partner are still high for tonight and still get a chance at the $1,000 DeSoto Plymouth question tonight.
Right.
All right, gentlemen, come on in.
Well, Dean, we're through with the sprints now. We're up to the mile run here. Here it is. Most of the major countries of the world have well-known news services, like the Associated Press, United Press, and International News in this country. For $1,000, what is the famous news agency of England? Talk it over.
Ladies?
What is the answer you two have decided upon?
Reuters?
Reuters is absolutely right. They win $1,000 plus how much in the quiz, George?
$320.
Well, thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
And now, here he is, the one, the only...
I thought he went out with the old year. Oh, that's me. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples, and if any of them say the secret word, the duck will fly down and pay him $100. The word tonight is water. Okay, Donald, scram. Go ahead with this thing, George.
All right, Groucho, we have a young married couple for you.
Me?
Well...
You mean for each other?
Yes, the young married couple are Sergeant and Mrs. Sylvester Nelson. Folks, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Say the secret word, and you'll take home an extra $100. It's a common word, something you find around the house. Sergeant Sylvester Nelson. I take it you're a Marine, judging by the uniform. Is that right?
That's right, sir.
Uh-huh. Sir, you don't have to say sir to me. Just call me Colonel, that's all. I'm kind of nutty anyhow. With a name like Sylvester, I'm sure you must be a fighting Marine, eh?
Oh, I sure am. They call me Ski, though, brother.
You do, huh? What do you do from the Marines? Play in the band?
No, I'm a staff sergeant of machine gun platoon.
Machine gun? In that case, sir, you can call me Groucho, eh? Mrs. Nelson, that's you, huh? What is your first name?
My first name is Colette.
Colette, oh, French, eh? Parlez-vous français?
Oui!
Oh!
By the way, est-ce que vous avez vu de jolies filles à Paris pendant votre tour?
I can't. I'm going fishing in the morning. Whereabouts in France do you call home, Colette?
Well, I was born in Angoulême, but brought up in Bordeaux.
Born where?
Angoulême.
Angoulême?
Oui.
Oui. No, I mean just you. I don't know where he's born. I'll ask him later. Well, Colette, now that you're in America, what do you think of us and our ways? Did you find us confusing when you first came here?
Oh, oui, sometimes. But I think my worst experience was on a train ride from New York to Wisconsin, Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Where'd you go, to Green Bay?
Oui. I was expecting my first baby, and I was traveling with Fifi.
Who's Fifi?
My French poodle.
Wasn't Fifi a comfort to you on the train?
Pulito saying no, she was pregnant too.
Well, that shouldn't have upset you. I once had a berth on a train myself. That's a pretty old joke, Colette, what I just said. Don't you think it's funny? I had a berth on a train. Which joke? Didn't you hear the joke? I said, don't let it upset you. I once had a berth on a train. I had upper 8.
I don't understand.
Well, I don't think I can explain it to you. Sylvester, why don't you explain it to him? Huh?
Well, he was going to have a birth on the train. He had a birth. He was going to sleep, but you're going to give birth to a baby. And
Okay. Explain the rest of it later, Sergeant. You know, in 40 years in show business, this is the lowest I've ever sunk. When one contestant has to explain my jokes to another. Well, it's been a real education talking to you two, and I wish both of you success, children, and happiness. And if you ever see Fifi again, give him my love.
Oh, she has got 7 steps, Fifi.
Well, give the whole 8 of them my love. Now let's play You Bet Your Life. We start you off with $100. You try to increase that bankroll by answering any 4 questions in the category you picked yourselves. If you miss a question, you lose half of your bankroll. Is that clear, Colette?
Oui.
Oui, huh?
Oui.
You selected music, and remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, you can start with a 10 or a 20 or 50, 80, all the way up to 100. $70?
$70.
All right, in music, what is the mechanical device used to mark the exact tempo?
Oh,
What is it in French?
You can see what you can.
What is it in Hungarian? Well, I'm sorry. It's a metronome.
Metronome, oui. Oh, la la.
Well, you still have half your $100.
What is ooh la la in French?
Oh, wait.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right, now don't get discouraged. You've got a long ways to go. You still have $50. Now, what are you going to try this time?
80.
All right. A. Seymour Brown and Nat Ayer wrote a song back in 1911 that keeps popping up regularly. I'm sure you can identify it. Now, you listen. Okay, Jack.
Beautiful doll?
Oh, you beautiful doll is right. That is right. Absolutely. Oh, yes. Oh, hi.
You now have $130.
Now, what do you want to try? How many francs?
90.
According to the folk song, who wore sardine boxes minus topses in place of shoes?
Oh, la la. Oh, that's a hard one.
According to the folk song, this is an old American song, and this is one of the lines in it. Who wore sardine boxes minus topses in place of shoes? Do you know, George?
Yes, I think I do.
Tell it to him.
Clementine?
My darling Clementine, that's right. You win $50, George.
But unfortunately, you lost half your $130. You now have $65.
All right, now here's your last chance to beat the other couples, and don't be discouraged. 100?
That's the hard one.
All right.
There you go.
Huh?
The bigger the money, the harder the question, you know.
Well, no.
I don't want to alarm you.
100, go ahead.
100. What was the first name of the great Austrian composer, Mozart? What was his first name?
Oh, I should know it. I know I should know that. I'm stuck.
Well, it's a ridiculous name. It's Wolfgang.
Oh, I would have never guessed it. No.
If you'd have thought of Errol Flynn, you'd have guessed it. Now, I'm sorry.
You wind up with $32.50.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Sorry you didn't win more.
A young lady with a very interesting job, Miss Marilyn Pierce. Her partner is a special guest, one of the best-known names in the world of golf, Mr. Jim Ferrier. Folks, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you find around the house. Jim Ferrier, eh? Put it there, Jim. Glad to meet you. I'll get around to you in a minute, Jim. You practice your backswing, and I'll practice my approach. Let's see, you're Marilyn Pierce? Where's your home originally, Marilyn?
Newport, Rhode Island.
Newport? Oh, that's a pretty swanky place. I was thrown out of a hotel there once. Did you have a job back in Newport?
No, not Newport. I moved to Boston at an early age.
Oh, Boston.
And I was a model there.
A model?
Mm-hmm.
Well, are you still a model?
No, not anymore. I found that it wasn't intellectually stimulating.
Well, some of my best friends are models. You could still be a model and have intellectual satisfaction. You could be a cover girl for the National Geographic.
Well, it wasn't much of a challenge.
What sort of work do you do now, Marilyn?
I'm a dog trainer.
A dog trainer?
Yes.
And that gives you intellectual satisfaction?
Oh, yes.
Why is that? When a dog digs up a bone, does he tell you it comes from a dinosaur or something?
No, but breaking the language barrier between a dog and a human being is really an accomplishment.
Yes, it certainly is.
After all, some human beings...
I find it much simpler to kick them. Just four-legged dogs, are those the only ones you concentrate on?
Yes.
What about an old cocker spaniel? You wouldn't be... Let's talk about your work as a dog trainer. That sounds very interesting and most unusual for a young, attractive girl. Where do you train them?
Well, I train dogs at their own homes. I go to the home and train the owner.
You train the owner?
Yes.
What does he do? Get on his hands and knees and run around the room?
No, not quite. I train the dog and show the owner how to manipulate the leash and the correct commands to give to the dog.
Uh-huh. Have you been standing here all this time?
I'm listening.
Isn't that funny? I didn't even know you were here. Never underestimate the power of the Philadelphia Bulletin. Where are you from originally, Jim?
I came from Australia.
Oh, down under, huh? The Antipodes, huh?
Yes, I've been here 15 years. I came from Sydney originally.
Is that so?
Played professional golf here for 15 years.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the important golf tournaments that you've won? I know you've won many of them.
Well, I won the National PGA Championship in '47. I won the Canadian Open twice. I've won 5 Australian championships and quite a few of the big money events around the country. I now at Lakeside Club here in Hollywood.
Oh, I see. Huh?
And hope to have you over one day.
Yeah. Well, do you ever play at Hillcrest?
Oh, yes. Matter of fact, playing there next week.
Oh, tournament? Huh?
No, just a little friendly game. If you have a loose dollar or two.
I have a loose dollar, but I haven't got a loose moment for them. I play golf, too, you know. What is your handicap, Jim?
Well, as a pro, I don't have a handicap.
Well, congratulations. How is it a tall, handsome man like you isn't married?
Oh, I'm married. I have a wife.
You just said you didn't have a handicap.
Well,
haven't you got the same handicap that 50 million other men have?
Well, I don't consider my wife a handicap.
No, you had a bad lie, Jim, but you recovered very nicely. Well, I'd like to go on talking to you two, but it's time to play You Bet Your Life.
In the race for the $1,000, the first couple won $32.50, and the secret word is water.
Now, you select the general information quiz, and remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is.
I think we better start a lead, you don't think?
80?
Oh, that's kind of big. How about 50?
50?
50, be all right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
50. All right. What type of merchant indicates his trade by suspending 3 golden balls over his front door?
Pawnbroker.
Yeah, pawnbroker in the hock shop. That's right.
You now have $150.
What are you going to try this time? You have
$50.
$150. You want an 80 or 90 or 40 or
60?
Oh, no, it's 100.
100?
100.
Oh, gee, that's pretty high.
You agree with that, Jim?
Oh, I'm not very intellectual. 80, okay.
80. What is the monetary unit of Italy?
Lira.
Lira is right.
No.
You now have $230.
What do you want now, a little one or a big one? Big ones are harder, the little ones are easy.
Let's go to 60, back to 60.
60?
We're going pretty good.
60?
75.
There is no 70.
No? All right.
There's a 70 or a 80. You've had the 80.
70? Okay.
What is the complete membership of the United States Senate? And I want the precise number.
48.
How many members in the United States Senate?
I think it's more than that.
No, wait a minute. 48. Let's see now. 96, I believe it is. 96?
96 is right, huh?
You now have $300.
What are you going to go for?
60? What?
60 or 60? 60, ma'am?
Can we go up?
Don't look at me with those big black eyes.
Oh, I think 60 would be safe. I'm Scotch, you know.
Well, I am too, but I'm living dangerously.
All right, 60?
All right.
How many justices are there on the Supreme Court, and I want the exact number?
It must be 12. I believe.
One answer.
I don't know.
I would say 12. 12.
No, I'm sorry. It's 9, Jim.
Well, you
it is
lost
pretty
half
good.
your $300. You wind up with $150.
Well, thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Sorry you didn't win the last one.
Groucho, we invited some school teachers to the show tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Mrs. Evelyn Sorrells. Her partner, Mr. Floyd Humiston, has an unusual occupation. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, welcome to the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you find around the house. Isn't she cute? Evelyn Sorrell, and Floyd Humiston. Evelyn, I'll start with you because you're a girl. You're a teacher, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, what a nice little teacher, huh? Where are you from, Teach?
I teach at El Monte.
Are you married?
Yes, my husband goes to Caltech.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Floyd Humiston, huh?
Yes, sir.
How old are you, Floyd?
I'm 24.
Now, Mr. Fenneman says you have an unusual profession. What do you do, Floyd?
Well,
with a name like Floyd Humiston, I should guess you're a flute player with a Philharmonic. What do you do?
Well, I train lions, Groucho.
What was that?
I train lions.
You mean the van and storage company?
No, the kind that eat meat.
How long you been doing this kind of work, Floyd? About half an hour?
No.
People say anything to get on this show. Trains lines. He probably sells pencil sharpeners or something. I could use one. My head has been coming to a point lately.
My father was a lion trainer, and so I've been at it since I've been about 8 years old.
What did you do? Did you start training mice first when you were a kid?
Well, no, just being around them.
You say your father was a lion tamer?
Yeah.
What happened? Did he collect his severance pay?
No, he's retired. He's in the termite business now.
Termites. He must cut quite a picture crawling under a house with a whip, a chair, and a loaded revolver. Where did he find these termites? On the lion?
Well, I don't actually know. I've been worked with him a little bit. But
was your mother in the animal training business? Too?
No, she was an aerialist with the circus.
Flying in the air?
Yes.
Well, that sounds like a typical American family, doesn't it? He trains lions, his father chases termites, and his mother swings in the air. That's what they call the ideal American home. Must be very restful around there around dinner time. Do you have any brothers and sisters, or did the lion do away with them?
Yeah, I have a half-sister, Groucho.
You have a half-sister?
Yeah.
You mean you keep the lion in the house?
I used to, yeah.
Well, a half a sister's better than none, I guess. Which half you got, do you remember?
Well,
Floyd, Floyd, you chew on a hunk of raw meat for a minute while I engage this beautiful teacher here in repartee. How old are you, Evelyn?
24.
24. How long have you been teaching school?
I'm starting on my second year.
Really? Huh? Well, aren't the children distracted when you walk in the schoolroom?
No, I teach girls.
Oh. What do you teach these girls?
I teach homemaking.
Homemaking. What's that, carpentry and things like that?
No, among other things, it's cooking and sewing.
You mean you're the one who teaches these modern girls how to cook, eh? You're a worse menace than smog. Floyd, let's get back to your lions. Do you own any yourself?
Yes, I do, Groucho. I have a lion named Fearless Fagin.
Fearless Fosdick?
No, Fearless Fagin.
Where's Fearless Fagin now?
Well, he's at home.
I see. Is he pretty friendly around the house?
Oh, yes, he's very friendly. He lives in the house, and he used to sleep in bed with me.
What happened?
No, my wife didn't like it.
Well, I think there's some justification for that. I think you should have got her a lion, too. Huh? Now, where do you keep Fearless Fosdick now?
Well, I keep him up in Thousand Oaks, and that's we have a lot of animal compounds and one thing and another up there. And so
you keep him in a tree, you say?
No, in the house.
You said in the Thousand Oaks.
Oh, well, it has Thousand Oaks supposedly. Now let's see, you might have cut one down.
Well, what Is that anything like 29 Palms?
Well, I guess about the same, yeah.
Well, how do your neighbors feel about this? Don't they complain?
No, they have elephants.
Well, that I can understand. Having an elephant in the house is logical, but having a lion, that's ridiculous. You must live a rather interesting life, Floyd, with a lion in the house. What do people say when they ring the doorbell and the lion answers?
Oh, well, not too long ago, we have the Dutch doors in our house, you know, the kind that open up one at a time. And so...
what do you mean, open up?
Well, you know, it's kind of used to have in barns, you know, where they sawed them in half, you know, where the bottom part opens up and then the top part opens up.
This is like your half-sister, huh?
Well, anyway, so this Fuller Brushman, he came up to sell me some brushes, and so I was talking to him, and so Fagin stuck his head out over the door and top of the door, and so I still have the man's brushes and briefcase.
Well, you think this brush salesman thought the lion was your wife? Isn't your wife afraid of Fagin?
Oh, no, she's not afraid of me or Fagin or anybody else.
I guess you have your wife pretty well trained by this time, huh?
Oh, no. The women are the hardest things in the world to train. They have the cunning of a tiger and the stupidity of a lion, and well...
No, let it go.
You know what I mean.
Let it go. You're not going home tonight anyway. Well, I hate to break this conversation off. It's been very educational and extremely interesting.
Okay.
However, it is time to play You Bet Your Life.
In the race for the $1,000, the second couple is leading with $150.
Now, you selected the animal kingdom, and remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what do you want to start with? 10, 50, 60, all the way up to 100?
80.
$80. What do you call a young or nestling pigeon?
Let's say, I ate some on toast one time.
I hope they agreed with you.
Squab.
Squab is right, yes.
You have $180.
Now, what are you going to go for?
90.
90. What kind of an animal is a Flemish giant?
Flemish giant. That's a fowl, if I'm not mistaken. Flemish giant. see.
Guess. If you don't know. Well, I'm sorry. It's a rabbit.
Oh.
Yeah, well, that's a shame.
You lost half your 180. You have $90.
All right, now what are you going to go for?
70.
70? What do you call the rodents that live in colonies on our American plains? They have a bark resembling that of a dog.
That is your, a prairie dog.
That's right. A prairie dog is right.
You now have $160.
And here's your last chance to beat the other couples. What are you going to go for?
60.
What?
60?
60.
What are teals, golden eyes, and canvasbacks?
Eels, goes iron, they're ducks.
That's right. Ducks is right.
And you wind up with $220.
Thanks, and good luck to the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Thank you.
That means that Mrs. Sarles and Mr. Humiston, with $220 in just 1 minute, get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question. Mrs. Sarles and Mr. Humiston all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question.
All right, here we go for $1,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully and please no help from the audience. One of the most famous cartoon characters of the last 40 years is the Timid Soul, created by H.T. Webster. For $1,000, what is this painfully timid character's name? Talk it over. All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
I'll take a long guess. It wouldn't be Sad Sack, would it?
No, it's Casper Milk Toast.
Oh.
So that means the big question next week will be worth $1,500. Well, they lost the big money, but how much did they win the quiz, George?
$220.
Well, thanks, and congratulations to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.